Hey everybody, welcome back. This is part 8 of the Simple Bot series. So if you remember from last time, we had bots moving, food not being eaten, but still being created. Okay, so let's get rid of this. So this video is going to have some structural changes to our code. And by the time we're done, our main file is going to look a bit different. Now, in order to kind of clean up this, and what I mean by clean up is to get rid of some of these class creations and also to keep us from putting any logic in the main file, I'm going to abstract away and create a world file up here. And this world file is going to have a class called world, which tracks the food manager and the bot manager. And later, if you want to add other stuff, so you can add them into the world as well. The point is you don't want logic in the main file. You don't want to do things like checking if the bot has eaten food inside this while loop. It's going to make the while loop really ugly, it's going to get really full, and it's going to be harder for other people to understand, and for you when you come back later to understand. Okay, so let's go over to the world file, and we'll take a look at what I actually mean by combining everything in here. So let's go ahead and from the food manager, let's import food manager, and from bot manager, import bot manager. And we're gonna need a few other things in here. So our ever trusty random int function, and let's go ahead and create the world class and our constructor here. And the constructor is only going to take window, and in the constructor I'm going to create an instance of my food manager, and I'll pass it that window variable, and bot manager, and I'm going to pass it window as well. And then I'm going to add a couple variables up here. I'm going to put number food, number bots. Alright, and I'm actually not going to do it here. I'm going to do it in a function I'm going to call initialize. And the reason is later on I might want to add more stuff, and I don't want to fill up my constructor with things that aren't variable declarations. So if you're not creating a member variable, just put it in the initialize. And initialize will do things like initialize those, maybe some variables, or might load an array or something like that. So initialize self num food, num bots. And let's go ahead and for the food manager dot add food, number of food, and self dot bot manager dot add bots, number of bots. Okay, and that's it. So right now I've set up the entire world in here just by creating a couple instances of our food and bot manager, and then I went ahead and loaded the number of food and the number of bots that I want. Now, two other things that we're going to need in the world is, of course, an update world method. And the update world method, the only thing it's really going to do is just go ahead and call these other classes. So, and bot manager dot update bots. There's going to be two other things I'm going to put in here in just a minute, but for now, we're going to make the other method that we've been using on just about everything. Draw world self. And as you guessed it, this is really going to be exactly the same as the other. Good. So I've got update world, draw world, initialize, and actually this is all you need. Now this looks like I'm duplicating a lot of code from over in Simple Main, and really that's what I'm doing. In just a minute we're going to put some different logic in here. I mean, I'm going to show you how you can get rid of the food when the bot eats it, and we'll have to change some of these other files in order to make sure the bot gets larger and all that type of stuff. So let's come back over here and let's get rid of these. We're going to create a world in here. So world is equal to world, and it's going to take the number of food we want and the number of bots we want. So let's go ahead and give it, maybe we'll keep it small to start with. Let's give it 50 food and 25 bots. So there's enough food for every bot to have 2 at the very beginning. That means I can delete all of that stuff in there. I say update world and draw world. Alright, so at this point, as long as I haven't made any errors, which, I don't know, I make syntax errors all the time, let's go ahead and run. And I did have a syntax error. Numbots. Oh, I forgot one very important thing. Yeah, there we go. Window. Alright, let's run it. And now we've got our bots moving around. They're not eating anything yet, but it's working just like it was before, except I've abstracted away to a world file here. Alright, so let's actually look at what needs to be done to get them to eat. So the first thing I want to do in here is I want to check if a bot has died or not. So after the bots get updated, I'm going to check, is bot dead? Okay, so this is actually pretty simple, but we have to add one thing to our bot in order to know if the bot is dead or not. And that is, we need to put some health in here. So right now the bot has no health. And in order to put some health in, I'm actually going to create 2 variables. So the first variable is going to be current health. Now the current health of the bot is going to be, actually, sorry, let me put my initial health in first. The initial health of the bot will be equal to some random int, let's make it 100 to 300. Then I'm going to have the current health of the bot will be equal to self.initial health. And then the last one, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set it to max health, and the maximum health of the bot is going to be somewhere between 1,000 and 3,000. Alright, so let's take a look at what that means. Is the bots are going to start off with an initial health that is kind of small actually, and the current health will obviously be the same as the initial health at the beginning. The max health will be how healthy the bot can get. So imagine like you start off with an empty stomach in life, and this is your health somewhere around here. But your max health, if you eat lots of food, you can get, you know, a lot healthier. You can have more food that will last you longer. So the maximum health you can have is going to be some larger amount, and it can only get so big before you can't possibly put any more nutrition or water or anything into your body. So we're going to assume that our bots don't start very healthy, but that they can be up to maybe 10 to 30 times greater health than their initial health. So if the bot starts at 100 initially, but then eventually gets up to 3,000, then it's, you know, 30 times healthier, you could say, I suppose. Now you can change these values later on, and actually in a later video we are, because we're going to change all these variables and we're going to see how that affects the code. Alright, so let's go back to our world, and we're going to check if the bot is dead. So now that we have a health, we can very easily check if our bot has died just by looping through and seeing if its health is 0 or not. So I'm going to say for bot in self.botManager.bots, and if bot.current health is less than or equal to 0, then self.botManager.bots remove bot. Okay, so pretty easy, right? Now, the only thing is right now the bots aren't losing any health, right? So every time we run this update bots here, no bot is ever going to actually get lower health. So we do need to come back over into bots, and we need to check out the current state. So we don't actually have that in here right now. Nowhere in here is the bot being updated. We have update movement, update destination, and update direction. So we're going to add a new method here called update state. And update state, the only thing I'm going to put in here right now is current health. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 0.5 to begin with. Okay. And then obviously I need to also call that. So I need to come back over to my bot manager, and inside all of this, it doesn't matter if the bot is at its destination, if it's at a boundary, or if it has a movement. Every single time anything happens, the bot will need to update the state of the bot, meaning it's going to have to eat some food. And don't worry, we're going to put a few more things in here as well, just to make sure that the bot will change. Okay, so let's just refresh really quick. We're going to come back and add something here, and then we're going to end this video because I don't want it to get too long. So in the world class here, I initialized everything, and I created an update. Oh, let me actually move this here. Draw world here, and is bot dead down here. So the isBot dead is just going to loop through and check each time if the bot has lost its health. And I needed to make sure over here that I've included an update of a state for the bot, which this update state right now just changes the health of the bot itself. Okay, so the one other thing I want to do before I leave this is actually look at how we can use this current health to change the physical appearance of our bots. So let's go ahead and do self dot bot circle dot radius, and we're going to make the bot's radius equal to 1 plus self dot current health by 100. So if you're unsure what this is, it just means divide by 100 and take the whole number. So if this is like 510, this will be 5 plus 1 will give a bot a radius of 6. Okay, so let's look at what that does. The bots aren't going to get smaller right now. They're not going to die, but the bots are going to be different size here. So actually, sorry, the bots will get smaller as they go, and eventually they are going to die. Nothing's being eaten, so they're blinking out, and eventually they'll all be gone. If I change the initial health of these bots, so for example, if I made the initial health up to 1,000, you're going to see that some of the bots are much bigger now. Eventually they're all going to die, and we're going to change the rate at which they die later on. But for now, they are getting bigger, getting smaller. Eventually they'll get bigger, sorry. Just getting smaller because they're not getting any food. Okay, so in the next video, I know I said I'd do it in this video, but I just feel like this is going to be way too much for one video. So at the very start of the next video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make the bots actually eat the food. Alright, so if you have questions on what I did here, please feel free to ask. Also, look at the code down below. There should be a zip file with all this stuff on the LeftPL website. So check that out, and I will see you in the next video, I suppose.